Hi.
Hi. Today we're here with Victoria from Ukraine, and we're going to ask about her journey. Welcome, Victoria, to our show.
Thank you.
So tell me everything.
Yeah.
When did you start traveling? Where did you go first? How do you live your life?
Actually, I've been traveling throughout all my life. So since the age 16, when I first got my passport, and I bribed to get my passport done in 2 days because I wanted to go so much. I went to Moscow first. I thought it's a nice country to go for me because at that time we didn't have such a big conflict between Ukraine and Russia. We only had first steps that led to war.
Okay, nice.
And then I decided, wow, such a beautiful city. I will live there. I will build my life there. And because I was super interested in startups and business and marketing, and I've met many people that were also curious about it over there. I also was in love with Russian culture at the time.
So first you went from Ukraine to Russia.
Yeah.
Where did you go next?
Yeah, after that, I was just traveling. I've been to Finland, I've been to Italy, but then randomly I went to India just for 1 month. It was my plan. With my husband, we went here to India, and I didn't expect that I will like India. But I decided to extend my stay for 1 month, then for another month, and then suddenly Russia had closed borders for Ukrainians.
Wow.
And I got stuck here, and he had to go to Russia for a few months to do his documents work, and I stayed here. So
What year was this when you came to India first?
it was in 2022. After the war has started between Russia and Ukraine, I continued living in Russia at that time. I experienced all this propaganda. I continued living there only because my relatives got into serious problems in Ukraine, and I was working in Russia, and I decided that I better help them in this condition of war. My grandparents got into serious medical condition because of the stress that the war has caused them, and I was helping them, and then they died. Fuck. And I went to India to relax from stress.
Wow.
Yeah, dramatic. Now I find this topic not so dramatic for me, but before that, I was very hurt. We had very close relationships with my grandparents, and I think the war had affected the fact that they died so fast.
Yeah, that was one of the toughest stories I've heard, but all this time you were working online, I guess?
Yes. I was working as a social media manager. Then I was just traveling for a few months. And then I was miraculously proposed by my friend that was expounding his business to India to help him running negotiations with Indian partners. And this is what I do all the time here in India, talking to these people and that. So I was happy to accept his proposal.
Okay, so more or less you're doing the marketing thing, but in like a different position and different way. And, did you ever try making money offline?
No, I've been working in office a few times in my life, and I even enjoyed that. I worked in newsroom. So it's very interesting, like you have 200 people around you, and you know them all, and you all work together in a collaboration. It's very interesting.
So if you go back in time as a traveler, what things will you do differently?
I think the only mistake that I've done is to take visa restrictions easily. I did it in Russia, and I did it in India as well. But in India I was not so precise, and all Russians and Ukrainians, they were making exit permits here. It's a legal way to extend your visa. So I listened to other people. They told me it's completely fine to make this extension. I did it, and this is my mistake.
So what consequence it had for you?
When I was leaving India, I was questioned severely. 20 minutes, they were questioning me hardcorely. They made me cry at the end. I was like, guys, don't put me into blacklist, please. And while entering also, I had this problem I faced again. They asked me why you had 4 exit permits, why? My mistake as well, I cannot blame them.
Do you use AI in your work?
Yes, right now I use AI most of the time because my work right now is related to text and negotiations. I use AI to double check what mistakes I've done, and AI for picture generation.
Yeah.
We were making posts with AI generated pictures, and
how do you think living in the age of internet has helped you?
oh, it's the best. Without the internet, I would live a terrible life because I'm from the small city. And we had only 70,000 population in our city. I didn't have hope for future because I was watching all the people around me. They were working in the factory, drinking, very depressive life. And I was expecting my life to be the same. I was even choosing whom will I marry from my city. When I was a child, I was like, oh, this guy is loser, this is stupid, this one is drinking. Whom will I get married to? And nobody liked me as well. Sometimes I started thinking that I need to run away from there. I wanted people to be professionally developed around me. But right now I'm away from this as well. So in Moscow, I had a brief moment of the life like this. Actually, right now, I don't know what to do. Should I develop my career? Should I start opening business? Should I buy a house? I have no answer. My husband's father also is a digital nomad. Not actually digital fully, but he is a scientist, so he is allowed to take his work anywhere.
What does he do?
He is a mathematician, and he's working in the university, but not as only as a lecturer. Also, he is researching in some fields.
And your husband is also digital nomad, right?
Yes, he's traveling with me as well. Yeah. We went to Vietnam as well, and we've been to Cambodia. So in 2022 we started traveling. In this November it would be 3 years after. I haven't been to Ukraine or to Russia since then.
It's been 3 years now.
Yeah, and I haven't seen my family for 5 years already.
Oh.
I was scared to go to Ukraine because of COVID.
COVID?
Yeah, I didn't want to infect.
I forgot about COVID, right?
I didn't want to infect my grandparents. I thought that if I come, I will definitely bring virus. And another reason was that all countries, if you remember, were closing borders at that time. And I felt if I go from Russia to Ukraine, I will get stuck with my family and I will be separated with my husband. I didn't want that.
When you were a kid, how did you imagine your life to be?
Once I was watching television and TV hosts were just jokingly playing between themselves and they shared their salary. And I was shocked. I knew the amount of salary of my mom, and TV hosts were having like 10 times bigger salary. And I asked myself, why my mom studied for 10 years to be a doctor? And she's helping people every day, working so hard. And these people are on TV. No, I was not blaming them. I was like, how is it possible to choose? And why she chose a job that is not paying her well. And she was trying to impose on me nice idea to be a doctor as well. But I was sure that it will not give me enough of money to sustain myself. I was searching for something else. And literally I was praying, God, send me some idea how to earn money. I was doing blogging. One company.
About what?
Actually, I was just posting random stuff about my life, just as if I was talking to my friends on my page, and that's it. And then I started to be interested in technologies. Maybe I was commenting sometimes on the technological topics, but generally it was about my life. And I gathered some subscribers, maybe 5,000-6,000, not a lot.
And how old were you?
I was 14, 15.
So you were working online ever since you were a teenager.
Yeah. I had my first work was just an agency texted me, do we want to run a campaign and you will just post stories about yoga in our channel. And I was like, yes, I will do it. And as a child, it was hard for me to control time. I didn't have any time management skill at that time, so I was working. One day I was posting, one day I was not posting. But anyway, they respected my efforts and they paid me some money. I bought a dress.
Nice. With my first salary, I was 21. I went to a trip to Tehran, to the capital.
Oh.
Yeah. It was fun, like 2, 3, 4 days. But yeah, that first money is like very different. That dress will always like be in your head, you know.